In this video, we're going to take a look at the Selectors tab of the Manager panel. The Selectors tab gives you a one-to-one mapping of the selectors that are in your style sheet. What this means is if we go take a look at the code window here briefly, the code panel in the main workspace, you'll see that we have a one-to-one mapping between the selectors in this list and the selectors that are in the style sheet. This is different obviously from the parts list, which is more of a list of styles, selectors you might want to have in your style sheet, selectors that are already in it or are missing from it. So while this gives you sort of a way to manage your style and see what you're missing or what you want to add, the selectors list actually gives you a way to sort of work with the style sheet in sort of a batch operation movement, sort of a larger scale than just having to go to the actual code window and do work there. So we just go back to design briefly. We'll take a look through this selectors list. So one important thing to point out about the selectors list is it is multiple select, so you can actually go through and select multiple items. To the right of the selectors list you have icons that allow you to move the selectors around. So for instance, we can move that down, we can move it back up. It's sort of useful. And at the top we have a toolbar, and the toolbar basically allows us to either add a selector, remove the selector, edit the current selector text, merge selectors, and split selectors. So first we'll just take a look at add. So we go add, you'll see that we bring up a add selector dialog. The add selector dialog has an insert thing here which allows you to basically insert. It gives you a little bit of help here with creating a selector. You'll also see that there's a list down here of all of the selectors from the parts list, so you can just actually use this if you wanted to say create that selector. You can just click it, automatically click that and click OK, and what we'll do is we'll go add it into the style sheet. Now I'll just undo that briefly and go back here. So obviously a remove selector allows you to remove the currently selected or selected selectors. The edit selector allows you to edit the currently selected selectors. So for instance, we'll just actually go to page, for instance, and go edit, and it will add .foo. And what's happened now is we've actually edited that selector. We've added some another class to it, so we could either use my orange style page or foo and get the style data from that class. Now what you'll also notice is that now that we've done that, this split selectors button has become enabled. That's because this is now conceptually two selectors, but they're combined into a single selector. So you have all the style information for those selectors in a single selector, so that you don't have to sort of worry about setting them in multiple places. But you might want to be able to edit them separately. So you can actually click split selector, and what that's going to do is it's going to chop those up into two different selectors. And if we go take a look at the code, you'll see that it's copied them so they have the exact same content. Likewise, if we wanted to put them back together, we can just select them both and click merge, and now they're merged back together. And you'll go take a look at the code, you'll see that we have them merged together, and we have the single style there. So we could edit them in a batch sort of format there. Lastly, you can choose to right click, and when you right click you get some of the options that are available from the toolbar. You also get some edit options. These guys right here are the edit options. This sort of allows you to quickly, for instance, copy, cut, paste appearance, which means I could go to, say, I could go to the controls, and I could say take the edit. So we've got that. I can say copy the appearance, and then I could go to, for instance, the button, and I could say paste the appearance. And what this does, as you can see, is I've actually copied the appearance from the edit and I've pasted it into the button. So there's some sort of edit time options there. And also, if for instance we didn't like what we did there and we want a clear appearance, we can go to the clear appearance option and choose to clear individual portions of the appearance. So if we go like all styling, it's going to pull all the styling off of that. So the selectors list gives you some powerful options for working with your style sheet.